In late May 2022, Genshin Impact released a survey asking fans to review 5 character designs in the game at random. One of my favorite characters and mains, Xiangling, was one of the ones that randomly popped up for me. What started out as a pretty brief paragraph for the other characters evolved into several paragraphs for Xiangling. Filling it out reminded me of why I liked character design in the first place. So today I want to describe my feelings towards her wonderful design in video format. I think Xiangling is a character that many people like, most people build as a playable character. But she's few people's favorites, so I want to throw some love out to her in the universe. This is going to be the first video in a series of character design reviews that will be the main feature on this channel. I'm excited to talk about various different shows and games going forward. Just a short disclaimer, I'm not Chinese nor Chinese American. There might be things listed here that I'm not educated in yet or grasp the full cultural weight of. I welcome anyone to correct me in the comments so I can learn more about the subject if I make mistakes or undermine the importance of any design choice. I did my best researching, but obviously I can make mistakes and I welcome criticism. And I would love to know more about the subject. Also, I'm by no means putting words in the designers' mouths. Don't take my interpretations as the official word. As of the time of writing this, Genshin does not have any sort of concept art book that explains the design choices. So this is solely my own conclusions by analyzing the design as a fellow designer. Xiangling is a 4-star Pyropolrom character from Liyue. She is the daughter of the owner of Liyue Harbor's Wanmin restaurant. As the head chef, Xiangling's specialty is experimentation with creating new fresh recipes. As the sideboard of Wanmin says, a new twist on an old classic, Xiangling's sense of pure innovation and creativity drives her forward. While she uses exotic and unconventional ingredients, her personal creed is that there's no bad ingredients, just bad cooking. While she is always asking people to try out her unconventional recipes, she also understands that everyone has their own preferences for food and believes that she should strive to put smiles on her customers' faces. As Xingqiu says, though Xiangling's market research blade stabs often into the dark, her heart never strays from the noble path. As seen in the 2021 Moonchase Festival event, this tenet makes Xiangling a walking thesis of Rex Lapis's wish for Liyue's future. It'll become a nation that strives to grow stronger in the future while treasuring ancient history. Food is a strong aspect of Liyue's history and culture. Xiangling's innovative use of the Stone God's cornbread recipe and performance in the Masterful Chef competition rewarded her with the title of the greatest chef in Liyue. So she, one who represents potential in the future by using history as a springboard, has a design that reflects that dynamic. Xiangling is a character with lots of youthful energy. She's energetic, curious, and ambitious. Her color palette is the 3 primary colors, yellow, red, and blue. Her dress is primarily yellow, her accessories are mostly red, her hair adds a pop of blue. There's a small bit of green on her hip accessory, but by and large, her color palette are these 3 colors. These primary colors are used most commonly to reflect a vibrant, youthful, and energetic design. While these are the building blocks of the way at least the Western art world views colors, it's not rudimentary. The colors aren't straight out of the tube, so to speak. The official name of her default outfit, Red Pepper and Turmeric, reflects this. The yellow is warm, with a slight orange tint. There is an almost rusty hue to her red. The blue is darker and more desaturated than the bright yellows and reds. With bright yellow as the most prominent color, red as the supporting role, and blue used just for the hair, there's a strong balance of these tones and they aren't used together all in one space. These main colorful tones are offset by a very dark, almost black, brown, and sparingly used light patches of white. The dark brown complements nicely with the rusty tone of reds and yellows while also acting as a nice grounding color to balance out all the bright tones. It casts her design in a warm and approachable light, as if she is standing next to a stove. Looking closer at the little details, the yellow in her belt, hairpin, trim, and clasps only add to this. It's a warm yet desaturated gold, not blending in with the bright yellow while working with it. Let's look at the pop of green I mentioned. I love this. The pop of green is the sole color in the design that is not part of the red, yellow, blue palette. However, the green is a perfect complement to the prominent red, and it's analogous with the yellows and oranges around it. The green is also desaturated enough to not guide your eye straight to it. When you consider Guoba and Xiangling as a duo, it makes Xiangling match Guoba perfectly. The light touch of green next to a Guoba mascot matches the stem of the pepper he's holding. Overall, Xiangling's design is very balanced in both tones, color palette, and saturation. Quite a few of Genshin Impact's Liyue female characters were an outfit inspired by a cheongsam or a qipao instead of an older traditional clothing such as hanfu, like Ningguang, Beidou, or Xinyan. Xiangling is no exception. Cheongsam were popularized in Shanghai in the 1920s after taking inspiration from the Manchu people's traditional clothes and have continued to evolve to modern day. The ones in Genshin seem to be, from my limited knowledge, based on the modern cheongsam. This contrasts Xiangling with Yao Yao, another disciple learning under Xiangling's Spearmaster, who is not wearing this modern fashion. Their master streetwear Rambler, or Madame Ping, wears a more similar outfit to Xiangling in her younger looking form. I think Xiangling's Changsam adds some modernity to her design, as I was saying about her being emblematic of Liyue's future, especially how she matches leaders like Ningguang. Xiangling's outfit is more basically broken down to a Changsam, shorts, boots, and gloves. I think she has quite a simple design in comparison to many other higher rarity and newer Genshin Impact characters. Simplicity is key here, and it seems very intentional in Xiangling's case. Let's look at the Changsam specifically. It is the base that all other design elements are added onto. There's a subtle light silk pattern on the yellow section that adds some luxury and maturity to the design. It's a bit difficult to see in game, however, it really reminds me of the swooping contours of Xiangling's constellation. The brown fabric is matte. The white and brown trim separating the yellow silk and the brown fabric is round and bouncy. It matches the rounded trim of the neckline and the back of the dress. And the cut of the fabric adds asymmetry to an otherwise very symmetrical design. Some other brown details, such as the paw prints on the back of the design, also add a bit of cuteness. Looking at the back of the design, the big red bow also has some texture like the yellow part of the Changsam. The red fabric seems light and airy in artwork, while the lowest piece of the bow holds a large golden bell. I love the oversized bell. It really adds such a fun cutesy flair, especially with how it weighs down the bow and makes it uneven. It really reminds me of magical girl design language. Bigger is better, bigger is cuter, and there's a sense of weight to it, which contrasts with the simplicity and lightness with the rest of her design. I'm gonna be honest, I researched for quite a while and I could not figure out why Xiangling and Yao Yao have giant bells on their design, like a specific cultural reason. I read up on Lijiang and I understand that China has the oldest recorded bells on Earth, but I couldn't find anything specific about this type of round bell, nor any English language fans discussing their design. If anyone knows, please comment. If I had to guess, I'd say it was to match their master, Madame Ping's cleansing bell. Her bell, originally created by Guizhong, resembles an ancient ling. Therefore, perhaps giving her disciples more modern bells is to show progress and the passage of time. Let's talk about Xiangling's face and hair. Xiangling's hair is a dark desaturated blue to complete the triadic color palette. As I said, the dark tone takes a step back and doesn't compete with the warm, bright yellows and reds. Everything on her head emphasizes the roundness of her design. Her hair is styled in a bob with loopies that resemble panda ears from the front, secured with a red bow on the back. Her round yellow eyes with those cute, big, almost cartoony eyelashes. Her eyebrows are big, round ovals. Her bangs are cut into petal-like shapes instead of blunt or sharp strands. Even the way her hair frames her face emphasizes the roundness. And all of this roundness harmonizes with the rest of her design, like her dress trim. This balance of cuteness with elegance and symmetry with asymmetry creates a simple, balanced, and very appealing design. Now, with the broad strokes of her design discussed, let's talk about the details. Xiangling is a go-getter. In her character stories, there are many accounts detailing how much traveling she has done to gather ingredients to experiment with and perfect through trial and error. Much like an adventurer, Xiangling is constantly traveling. The, quote, countless bruised knees bashed on rocky cliffs mentioned in character story 5 is actually shown in her design. She has a little bandage on her right knee. Because of Xiangling's adventurous spirit, she was given shorts under her dress. Unlike, say, Beidou, her skirt is rather short too. This gives her a lot of freedom of movement. With her bare legs, she isn't weighed down, both literally and design-wise. When I see Yunjin move, I can see her thick skirt's movement and weight. Xiangling, I can believe she climbs mountains and travels all over the continent by herself. Her design emphasizes athleticism. Her design also leans a bit tomboyish in comparison to some of the other Liyue female characters. To balance this, she has a lot of cute little flares, like many bows, hair clips, and her Guoba mascot pouch. I love the ridiculousness of her having a sewn charm of her own family member. Similar character designs from other media that remind me of Xiangling's design would be Buling Huang, or Mew Pudding from Tokyo Mew Mew, Hoshizora Rin from Love Live, or Satanoka Chie from Persona 4. All of them have bright, vibrant color palettes, they're full of gusto, there's dynamic posing, and a pinch of tomboyishness, but still very cute. Let's move on to the rest of her clothing. Xiangling wears flared gloves and boots at the end of her bare limbs. Her fingerless gloves implies she works with her hands a lot, cooking and traveling, while the flared design adds more of that cute, rounded chunkiness. The boots and gloves are that warm, off-black color with light touches of yellow and red. So, when Xiangling's moving, this dark color leads the eye to the end of her limbs, so we can focus on the full arc of her movements. Let's blur this clip a bit. The darkest parts of her design are her head, torso, hands, and feet. In contrast, her dress and limbs are lighter. So, the contrast guides the eye to focus on those areas when she moves. It almost resembles hitboxes in fighting games. So, while we're here, let's talk movement. Xiangling is a very active character. With what I was saying about how her design is made to focus on the movement of her hands and feet, it's important to keep in mind she is a very fast character. If I recall correctly, she has the fastest normal attack animation in the game, as of the time of writing this. So the contrast of her gloves and boots as the darkest part of her design very easily leads the eye towards her rapid jab attacks and footwork. We aren't focused on the secondary motion of any long sleeves or big hair ornament or fluffy skirt. Her spear movements are quick and piercing, as opposed to many other polearm users' long arcs and slashes, like Candace here. I'm curious to see what Madame Ping's animations will be like when she becomes a playable character in the future. Fingers crossed, because she was Xiangling's Spearmaster. It'd be cool if their techniques are similar. While Xiangling's skill and burst mostly focuses on Guoba and the Pyronado, the animation of her during them remains consistent with her energetic self. Her skill is a quick jump followed by a slow settle. See how her arm does a big slow arc, and she almost topples over, showing her clumsy side. Quick motion, overshoot, slow settle. Let's look at her burst. I love the synchronization of her hey ha with her 720-degree spin. The emphasis of the ha synchronizes with her jump on the second rotation. And again, quick motion, overshoot, slow settle. Xiangling's energy is carried through to her other unique animations as well. With her character select animation and her two idols, we see much of what I was saying before. Quick sudden movements, big overshoot, slower settles. I love her relatively new character select animation because it's unlike what we've seen her do before. Like, it's not similar to one of her idols or skill animations, but it's what I'd expect her to do regardless. It's of Xiangling. Again, look at her dark boots. It leads your eye from her legs arc downwards to the flourish with her hands. So, to recap, Xiangling is a character design that's simple yet perfect for her. She's cute and given so much warmth and approachability. So I think Xiangling's an incredibly underrated character. I think the community ends up mostly talking about the characters who are very relevant to the wider narrative and complex lore. And of course, that's to be expected. Genshin Impact's story and lore is insanely deep and interesting. But I've had this thought in the back of my mind since the Chasm World quests. Of course, divinity and immortality are fascinating, but I think when it's juxtaposed with mortality and little everyday human brilliance is when both aspects shine. While we don't quite know yet why some characters never receive a vision despite Herculean tasks, while others get ones for completing small personal goals, I think Xiangling's a very emblematic character of the value of human diligence. She's sweet, creative, hardworking, and determined, taught by the Adepti and humans alike. Alongside the Stove God, she's furthering the goalposts for her craft and inspiring others too. I think she's the perfect character to represent Rex Lapis's wish for Liyue to become a nation that honors the Adepti's past while growing even stronger in the future, guided by humanity.